Namaskar, Instagram. What's up, everyone? Namaskar. What's up, everyone? Welcome to my channel. So, hope you guys doing fantastic. Let me know where you're joining from. Hey, Sunil, how are you? Namaskar. Welcome if you're new here. Welcome to my channel. So, here we talk a lot about real estate investing and real estate sales. So, if you're new here, please introduce yourself in the comments below. Hey, Sunil, welcome. Where are you joining the call from? Sudbury. Oh, wow. Hey, Perth. Welcome to the live. So, hope you guys having a wonderful evening. At least I'm doing. Hope your day is going well. So, again, today I would like to talk about some of the mistakes that I made in my investing journey. So, also while I'm talking about it, if you have any questions, feel free to throw in the chat below. Love to answer any questions you have related to real estate investing, mindset, anything that you would like to talk. Happy to answer. Also, if you're joining for the first time, let me know where you're joining from. I'm just curious to know, where my audience are. So welcome. So, one of the biggest mistake, I actually talked about this in one of my video in detail, but here I'll give you a brief idea on one of my biggest failure. So I lost on a project 80,000. This is like very early in my investing journey. So the mistakes I learned from that failure is like biggest thing is um, first of all, know what you're getting into. Do your research as much as possible. Have the right people around you. That's two big lessons I learned, because the failure that happened, the mistake that I made was like, I jumped into a new construction project and I haven't done enough research about how it's going to work, what's the steps that involved in a new construction project. So obviously when I haven't done my own research fully, it's just gets the trouble. That's what gets you into the trouble. So, and that's what got me into trouble as well, because in the first few steps, like, we ended up spending way more than what we supposed to spend, and I didn't know. I was blindly trusting on my partner, and which also another mistake, which I first of all was not ready for the partnership, and I took without enough due diligence. So that's one of my biggest mistake. Also, like, if you're hearing this, and I would love if you can share any mistakes that you have done in your investing journey. I'm happy to hear those mistakes, so that we all can learn from each other's mistakes. Funny, hey Funny, would like to hear some updates from you regarding investing in Florida, US. You told that you will have an update soon. Yes, Funny, still working on that project. I'm still waiting for more details on that. Sorry to say that, but yeah, it's a big project. So we'll definitely share as soon as I have the information, more information. And here on Instagram from Sarnia, people from London. Jem, hey, welcome, Jem. Sudbury, London. Wow, awesome. So also, like, another mistake that I made personally, when I was, like, getting into investing initially, like, I started to look into real estate investing in 2016 September. That's when I kind of figured out about house hacking, um, pretty much all this, like, rental strategy, and it was like brand new. But from there, it took me almost 6 months to pull the trigger on my first property. Looking back now, like, for buying the first property, I wish I could have bought it like within the first month or second month or even third month, not 6 months. One of the biggest reason why it took me that long was I was scared. Um, really, really scared, because it's a new thing that I'm doing for the first time. um, and I was doing my numbers. I learned how to analyze a deal. I learned how to um, what deal makes sense for a house hack purpose. But still, even though I found like a lot of deals that I give up, now I look back, oh, I looked at this property 4 years ago and I should have bought it. It appreciated like way more than what I thought, and all those things. So, but look back, of course, I don't regret for not buying those. But the biggest thing, what I felt like my mistake was, I should have pulled the trigger way early when the numbers made sense on the deals, and where I had done enough due diligence. Just because I was scared, I couldn't pull that trigger. So that's another thing that from my early mistakes, I feel. And here, Sahas, what's your thoughts on partnerships? How does it always have to be 50-50? Really good question, Sahas. um, Honestly speaking, no. The JV partnership, it's really, how creative are you? How do you want to structure your deal? Because um, what are you bringing onto the table, and what's your partner bringing onto the table? So many elements goes into it. um, for example, like, I'll give you a couple of examples that how I structured my deals. So in the beginning, when I was brand new, I had a partner who literally blindly trusted when I didn't had any experience. So at that time, I gave him 60% equity partnership, like 60% on the profit. I took only 40% because he's bringing in money, he's bringing in all the credits. All I was bringing in at that time was all the deals and active energy and all those things. At that time, that was a great deal for me, because someone blindly trusting on me when I was like brand new, no experience and all those things. So now, probably I would not do anything less than 50-50 partnership for the same role. Or maybe, there could be a different partnerships where, I know a friend who actually have an active partner, where the active partner does only just the managing the rentals, managing the renovations, managing all the things, and he gives 30% on the equity. Again, it's a different way you can structure. At the end, you got to analyze who is bringing what onto the table, and make a decision according to what weights more. Especially if you're doing, like, for the first time, maybe be more generous in giving more share for your partner who is trusting on you, especially if you're being an active partner. So at the end, um, because if in the beginning the experience counts, right? So for me, because my partner trusted on me, I took on that project. Even though I gave him 60%, I made less money, but that leverage of knowledge, because now I got more experience because of that deal. So I can leverage that knowledge and go find a better partnerships in the future. So that's how I look at it. You don't just look at it from one side of thing, where how much money can I make just from this deal. You should also look at, how much business can I get from this deal, in future as well. So, and how much business you can do with that particular partner. So you got to look at different pieces. You got to take everything into account, and then come to a conclusion. And funny, Airbnb versus renting it for tenants, which one would you like? Personally, I haven't tried Airbnb, um, because it's just for me. I don't want to spend active time on managing my rentals. I just want to hand it over to the property management company and let them manage my tenants. So personally, That's what my strategy is. I just get the property, do the renovations, rent it out to a good quality tenants, and my property management take care of it. So straight tenanting. But that doesn't mean that Airbnb is not a good strategy. It really depends on you. For me, my active business is sales. So there are a lot of people who are like literally making solid cash flow from Airbnbs. Once you have a proper systems in place, I didn't take time to learn about Airbnb. I didn't take time to put the systems in place. That's why my cash flow is okay. But with Airbnb, if you have time to put the systems in place, if you have interest, obviously there is definitely a lot of cash flow opportunity there. But again, love to hear if anyone doing Airbnb in this group. Let me know in the comments, how is your experience so far? What do you think about Airbnb? Love to hear your thoughts, because uh, everyone have a different analogy about investings, different investings. Because at the end, investing game is not about like one specific strategy, because every individual is different. Every individual is at different times in their career. You're at a different phase in your life. So what fits your needs, you got to pick that strategy rather than what is working out for other people. Because maybe Burr strategy works out for me, not for someone else. So let me know what's your thoughts. I love to hear what strategy is working up for you. Awesome, Gem. Soaking up. That's what I did uh, all the time. As much as learn as much as possible, because you know decent amount of information. Now it's easy for you to act on it. Rasmat, hello boss. I have a question about, you need a real estate license to become a real estate investor. Do you think it's better? Great question. I get this question all the time. Do you really need a real estate license to do investing? Heck no. You don't need a real estate license to be successful as an investor. I got my real estate license because I want to quit my job. I want to replace my active income with some other active income. Because for me personally, real estate investing is a passive income. I want to build wealth. The equity and the passive income, the rents that I'm collecting, the cash flow. Um, it takes good amount of time, good amount of units to replace your income through passive income, at least with the strategy that I was using. So that's why I wanted to quit my job, and I was like not into the sales, sorry, not into the job. I was not happy about my job. I was not fully into the I never felt like I belonged to that IT corporate career. So for if you're like that, if you're like hey, I want an active business where I can generate a good active income, yeah, for sure, then take a real estate license. Because real estate license, at the end, it's a self-employment, it's a business where you can obviously make a solid active money, which you can take back and put it into real estate investing. But to be successful investor, do you really need a license? No. Actually, sometimes it actually puts you in a back page, because now you're not leveraging other people skills or other people's experience. Because now you want to be save that 2.5% commission. You're just working for yourself, so you know what you know. If you're working with other realtors who are like really knows what they're um, this whole investing game, now you're losing that experience. Literally, like if I would have got my license and did from the beginning my own way, maybe I would not have purchased this many properties, or I would not even got into real estate, I guess. Because I had my mentor, who is my realtor, Cassidy Loxon. She was like my first mentor. Her and her boyfriend, they were like, they had like 7 or 8 properties by the time where I wanted to get in. So, and she was a realtor. So I said, hey, literally teach me how you guys got into this many units. I want to do the exact same thing. So now she helped me to purchase and sell like for first like 4 or 5 properties until I got my license. And then, once I got my license, we became partners. So again, long story short, if you want active income, do the sales. But if you want to excel, you just want to focus on investing, just you don't need license. Let me know if that makes sense. Kaushik, would you say is it best way to convince a tenant to provide vacant position once you close on a property? Let me digest the question. Would you say is it the best way to convince a tenant to provide vacant position once you close on a property? I mean, not necessarily. You can you can communicate with the tenants. Only thing is, when before you close the property, you just need to have the permission from the seller, because technically they are still the owners. So you cannot communicate with the tenants without their permission. But if you can put it on the offer, hey, I would like to negotiate. Recently, I have done a fourplex. I sold a fiveplex in a city nearby in Windsor. The buyer who purchased, he said, hey, I want the seller to cooperate with me for me to provide N11 to the tenants. So he didn't say that I want the seller to give me the vacant position, because that's a tough thing. But he said, just allow me to communicate with the tenants to negotiate N11 form, so to get the vacant position. So you can definitely do that. That saves you a lot of time. Actually, that's a good strategy that I learned in recent times. You don't have to wait until the closing, but make sure you communicate with the sellers, because they're technically the owners and you can get into legal issues. Krishna, just woke up from gym and saw you live at 4:30 a.m. Hey Krishna, it's actually 7 p.m. in Eastern time zone, so probably you're in India. Welcome, man. So I'm glad to see people from India also learning about North American investing strategies. So glad to see that. And let me see more questions here. How hard is it to be a real estate agent? Can you get so many sales? I live in Vancouver here. Sales are just 13 annual average. I live in Vancouver here. The sales are just 13 annual average. Sorry, I quite did not get that, Mehra, the last point, but I'll tell you about how hard the real estate agent is. There are thousands of agents. Out of, like, there was article I read like a couple of months ago. It says out of all the agents in Ontario, only 20% of the agents sell over 10 properties. Sell over 10 properties. That means probably less than 20% of the people make a better living through real estate sales. So that means it's definitely, competitive industry. But is it hard? It really depends on you. For me, I started as a brand new agent. Like, I had no sales experience before, except when I was in India, I did some MLM thing. But other than that, like, I was working as an IT guy for 5 years and decided to quit my job and got into sales. And again, of course, I worked my ass off, like, from the day when I started my exams, marketing myself, saying that I'm getting my license. So since then, it's been like 2 years, 10 months approximately. And in this 2 years, 10 months, I definitely made a solid income through selling. If I can do it, I believe anyone can do it, because, only thing is you just need to learn what you need to do and take actions on, what is producing results. So that's exactly what I did. I just learned what are the strategies that are working in current market situation. What are the marketing strategies, and I just acted on those, and I built my network. Your network is your net worth, which old saying, which is very, very true. So the more people the more income you can make. So sales is not hard. It's doable. It's 100% doable. Like, a zero can become a hero through the sales, if you put work in, if you learn and take actions on what you learn. Hope that makes sense. Is there any property under 300K in Windsor? Vasudevan, good question. Very good question, because recently we've been getting this very, very, very often. I hate to say that, but it's getting really tough to get a property under 300. Really tough. I have pulled out some data. I think 2 weeks ago, the properties sold under 300. So there were like 15 or 20 properties. Out of those, probably two or three of them are livable. Rest every property that are sold under 300 are not livable. And even those livable, they're like 2 bedroom, 1 bath, like smaller homes. So it's getting tougher under 300. Is it doable? Like, can you still find? Yeah, definitely you can still find. It's hard. Yeah, maybe you got to do your own marketing. You got to find really distressed sellers, and maybe even the properties that are need renovations. Probably those are the right one, because now the market value has went up. Average home price in Windsor right now is 556,000 something, around there. So which means the average home, it's 300,000, is like almost like close to half the average home price. So but under 300 to 400, there are a lot of properties that are really make good sense for investing purpose. Six rounds, I love that name. I'm in Surrey, where houses are really expensive. What properties should I buy to get good cash flow? So one, if your city is getting way too expensive, number one, find a way. If you can, like, come up with a creative strategy where you can make a good cash flow. But if there is no way that you can make cash flow in your city, then go find other cities that are nearby, or surroundings that are like coming up, where you can make a good cash flow. you know One of the reason why Windsor is been appreciating quite well from 2016, because a lot of Toronto investors coming to Windsor, because Windsor is not too far from Toronto. It's only like 3.5 hours drive. It's right on 401, end of 401, near, literally right opposite to Detroit downtown. So where the growth potential is there, and along with that, there is still you can find cash flowing properties. So again, it's likewise same way. You go find cities. Maybe if your city is out of reach, then go find cities nearby your city, or where you can drive 3 hours, 4 hours, 2 hours, whatever the possible distance, where you can find good cash flow, but also along with that growth potential. Then hey, why not? Rasmit, how to find a mentor? That's a really good question. Um, depends on depends on you how to find a mentor. How I found my mentor, I I I looked up for meetups in my city, when I was like, literally, when I had this thought of house hack. I want to buy this property after reading a bunch of books, and I found a meetup that my realtor at that time, who started that meetup, specific to real estate investing. So I went and attended that meetup, and that's how we became friends. And I learned she's a realtor. So then eventually, like, mm, we became good friends. So you got to find investors in your city who are been investing and who have done what you want to do, and go find whatever the ways to connect with them. If you have to go buy them coffee, or take them for lunch, or maybe you're going to do some errands for them, or whatever it takes, to go try to surround yourself with those people. So now you will be in that community, or you will be with close to that person, or whoever you think would be a good help for you. Now that's, in my opinion, that's a really good mentorship. If you cannot find that, maybe look for, there are a lot of good mentors. Again, I know there are a lot of gurus online who offer this courses and all those things. I don't believe too much on those, but there are some people, handful of people, they're like really good mentors, that I have seen offer mentorship programs, where they jump on a call with you every week, every 2 times in a week, and they're really helpful. I have a mentor I used to have a mentor before, and now I have a group of mentors that I go for suggestions, who are like actually doing way more than that I wanted to do, and who have achieved what I want to achieve. So try to find within your reach, and find ways to go close to them. What is the average market rents in Windsor for 1 BHK and 2 BHK unit? So, good question. So, I have a detailed Windsor guide if you are interested about Windsor. So, it's in most of my videos in the description, or if you're on my Instagram, check on my bio. You will see a Windsor guide where we have like detailed market rents. But just to answer you, we have a very detailed like average prices, average market rents for apartments, for detached homes, and for different neighborhoods and all those things. But to give a very very ballpark, for 1 BHK you're looking around 900 to 1100 $1200. For 2 BHK, two bedrooms, two bedroom unit, probably you're looking around 1000 to 1400, depending on if it's in the apartment or detached. It can even go higher, maybe you furnished or it's way more updated. So it really depends on different elements. On an average, 1000 for 1 BHK, 1200 if you want one answer, but too many elements goes into it. Hello Shallow 123. Interesting name. If my budget is 450K, is it better to buy an old bungalow in Windsor, or should I get a condo townhome in London? That's a tough question, man. It's your personal choice. Which city do you see is improving, and which city would offer you a good cash flow? And where do you live? So many pieces that you need to answer me before I say that. But personally, I love detached homes where I can add, a basement suite or all those things, where I can add more value than condos. Personally, only condo I have is a pre-construction that is going to be built in 2024, just for appreciation purpose. That's the only condo I bought. Again, that's my personal choice. It could be, and there are investors I know who just invest in properties. Personally, I don't invest that much into condo except the pre-constructions. um, so I personally prefer bungalow because I see more value. Um, but again, if you're in London and you live close by, you want to have your properties in your backyard, maybe condos might make sense to you. Or maybe, I don't know how much is the income potential in that condos. In Windsor, I can talk about, if it's a bungalow, if you can add a basement suite, you can have like almost $700-800 cash flow. So I can talk about Windsor. Condos in townhomes in London, probably you got to dig more into it. Hope it makes sense. If you still have a follow-up question, let me know. No, bro, so happy to see person like you. Thank you so much. Glad to hear that you're an inspirational book for me. Thank you, bro. Happy to hear that. That makes my evening better. So I will take that compliment. Can I get a duplex for around 500K all day long in Windsor? I got like 3 or 4 duplexes in last pretty much at 4 weeks for different clients, around 500K. And one duplex that I really love is, like, we even had a in-law suite extra apart from the duplex, legal 1 2 units plus a basement non-conforming suite, which was making like almost a existing $500 cash flow plus potential for another $1,000, because the 2 units were rented for low. So all day long it's possible. You're welcome, Fiva. Sorry, it's an interesting name. If I pronounce it wrong, forgive me. How does zoning works in Windsor? Gokul. um, Gokul Vasudeva, love the name. um, It depends on what zoning are you referring to. um, Commercial zoning, residential zoning, what are you trying to do with the zoning? um, Residential zoning where you want to put an ADU, or what are you looking into? You gotta be more elaborative on that zoning, because there are so many questions I can ask about zoning. Rasmith, I live in Toronto. Is Hamilton is a good place to start real estate? Rasmith, I I know from an economical point of view, Hamilton is really one of the fastest growing city, as far as I know. I don't know much about the prices, rents, and all those things, so I cannot really talk about that city because that's not my expertise. But go find a professional, a local investor-focused realtor in that city, talk to them, ask them all the questions. Hey, what's the current rents? What can I get? um, what are the price points? What are the strategies that I can utilize here in the city? So go find an expert and pick their brain more about the specific city that you're looking into. Smiles. If I rent out my illegal basement on Airbnb, can it be shut down? Do Airbnb units need to conform to Ontario Building Code? Okay, so that's a very typical question. I'll answer this way. So, Airbnb, the concept itself means you can rent even your bedroom. It means it doesn't have to be a legal suite, as far as I know. But if you're renting it as a separate unit, probably you got to check the Airbnb guidelines. And also, like, of course, illegal units you cannot rent as a separate, like for a separate family. But Airbnb plays a little bit different role. So I would say, like, check with the Airbnb what are their policies. Like I said, I haven't done Airbnb. Maybe I got to look a little bit more into it to answer that specifically. But dig into their policies, what they say, because it's part of your house. And the whole concept, bread and breakfast, came in, like, utilize your unused space in your house. They didn't say that any legal you can only rent those duplex, triplex, fourplexes. They said in your own house you can, but they might have a different policies within that, especially when you're renting a unit that is like totally detached from your house or in your basement. But if there is access from your basement, now it's technically part of your house. So look into their guidelines. Oh, it's FIFA fans. Okay, cause it's a football. Yes, yes. I'm sorry, man. My name is Adi too. Oh, nice, nice to meet you, Adi. Question: what are your thoughts about refinancing the property after you have done the rehabs? Is there a set of time that the banks are implementing now before you go for refinancing? Um, so, as far as I know, every lender is different when it comes to refinancing the timelines. I did most of the refinances with RBC and CIBC. They always said I need to wait at least for 3 months, because within the 3 months they only take the appraisal value that came within that when I purchased. So let's say if I purchased in August, and now I'm trying to refinance now. So when I go for refinance, they still look at the August appraisal because it's still within that 3 months period. So that's those two lenders' policies. So check with your mortgage guy, because every lender is different. And there are some lenders, they don't care. They apply for they request for a new appraisal, and if your new appraisal value comes up higher than where you can pull your money out, yeah, they might allow. Shook. Are first time buyers actually buying 1 million semi in Brampton, Fletcher's Meadow area? How do they qualify for mortgage? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Uh, it really depends on, bro. Sorry if if I'm not trying to be gender specific. I don't know if the name is like male or female. But so I'm here. I don't know what that person is doing. If the first time home buyer, but wife and husband making like 300, 400,000 income, maybe they qualify for 1 million mortgage. Or maybe they're putting 300,000 or 400,000 money down. I don't know what's the person's situation. How can I say how they qualify for? So please be more specific. If you're looking to buy $1 million property, you tell me about your situation. So, but to know more specifically, go talk to a mortgage person how much you can qualify for if you're looking to buy that Fletcher Meadow area, that $1 million home, because your mortgage guy can give you a pre-approval, which means can literally tell you how much you can qualify up to, how much mortgage you can get, how much money you need to buy that $1 million home. Hope that makes sense. Unless if you have some other specific question related to qualification, feel free to shoot in the comments. What's up everyone? I see a lot of people live. So guys, it's fun always, fun to be live and answer these questions, because that's indirectly I'm also learning more things from you guys. Also, if you're joining for the first time, let me know your name in the chat, and also what's your experience so far in investing or sales, or what got you onto my channel. Let me know in the comments below. Okay, Meher, can we have cash flow in condo? Can we do BRRRR in apartment? Why not? Right now, I have a condo on the market. No bidding war. Literally, seller will take the asking price. Nicely updated condo, 3 bedroom, 1.5 bath, townhome style, not even raised, high raised or anything, with a parking lot and a lot of private, the visitor parkings in a decent East Windsor neighborhood. I listed for 310, and he will take the asking price. So that property you can easily rent for 18, 1900, and the condo fees are only $270 ish. That includes a lot of things, like along with your maintenance fees, grass, snow, which itself, like, and your insurance, pretty much. For that property, the condo fees does, like, if you do your math, after taking the condo fees into account, you will be making like $300 to $400 cash flow, because the price is low and it's nicely updated, easy to rent. You'll get good rents, and it's 3 bedroom, 1.5 bath with a basement, and the basement is wide open, perfect for play area, all those things. So yeah, it's doable. And if you want to know more about that property, self promotion, we have that listing. So dm us DM me on Instagram. If you're on YouTube, please send us an email about asking for information about the condo. I'm going to put in the chat our email, info@vincityre.com. So if you send an email asking for the information about the condo, we'll give you that. And can we do BRRRR? Absolutely. BRRRR can be done with any properties. You just need to make sure you know your numbers. How much are you purchasing? What is the after repair value? And how much work does it need? So all those things. So at the end, if you are buying the property right, and you are doing the right renovations, and if your after repair value is good enough to pull your equity, your investment out, yeah, that's a perfect BRRRR. Hope that makes sense, Mehra. YQG Rentals, I love that name. Windsor to Autopilot residential rental license in student populated area. Yeah, that's coming up. What are your thoughts on this? Of course, I don't like it. We don't want to pay that extra money, right? But unfortunately, there are some good side surface of the rental license as well, because I see a lot of people, they don't care about the property, they don't take care of the property well. So in that sense, having this license can help, to help for the students to get some better properties for them to rent from. because there are a lot of landlords that are really, like, I should not say this, like, for a lack of better word, I would say like cheap landlords. It's just like they don't fix the water issues, they let that mold form in the bathrooms or in the basements, which is like not good for kids health. And I hope this rental license make it more, um, um, help the landlord to be more responsible. But at the end, has an investor who is like, responsible for their properties, who is taking care of things. Now it's an add-on cost. It's just in that sense, I don't like it. So that's all I have thoughts about it. I don't like that to come, but you know maybe what's your thoughts? What are you guys thinking about this licensing? Let me know in the comment below, because I'm curious. I, um, I would love to hear your thoughts. Paul, starting investing in 2021 May, have 15 units. Wow, man, kudos to you. Love the action takers. So good job. JV a couple properties, fantastic. I've been doing the BRRRR with one down payment to buy all the properties. Fantastic, man. Kudos to you. Ash, the content that you put out there is dope. Keep it up. Thank you, brother. As a first time investors, what resources would you recommend to use to find the ARV of a real estate investment property that you want to apply the BRRRR strategy to? So, Ash, here's what I would suggest, especially when you're a first time investor: work with a investor focused realtor in the city whichever you're investing in, because honestly, you will be learning a lot, especially the realtor who invested him or her, who have own rental properties, who knows, who are doing what you want to do, because now they know exactly how to analyze, because the data that you cannot find by yourself, the realtor has more deeper data, who can tell you, hey, here's what the ARV could be for a property if you fix this. Here is the current value. Those data, yes, you can find some sold properties here and there online, but for some reason in Canada, still we don't have accurate data for public. It's still for realtors. So I would strongly suggest you to go work with someone in the city that you're, who are doing what you would like to do. Adi, researching about investing in detached single family homes, then make it a duplex and do BRRRR from there. Awesome, man. Good job. How can we connect? There are multiple ways we can connect. Easiest one is on my bio. You will see a link. Um, Chat with us, or something in that line. Schedule a call with us. That link you will be filling in a basic info, just your name, number, and me or one of my team will get back to you like within 24-48 hours. So, and then we can take it from there. And if you want to just chat with me, of course, Instagram DM, Facebook DM, or much easier. Okay, Vijay Reddy. Hey, Vijay. If we want to invest in pre-construction houses, how to do our research on builder, location of pre-construction? Miss or Mr. Google. That's the biggest one I would start with. I It sounds silly, but just Google what do you find about that builder. How many projects have they done? You know, Nowadays the Google is super, super powerful, and sometimes we just don't think, but when you just put that name out there, see what you find. And on top of that, the location, of course, you can find about the location through many different forms. Number one, reaching out to people who are investing. If you're part of any investment groups, reaching out to any investors, hey, ask them, hey, have you ever invested in this area or in this area? What do you think about this? And see if you have any people who are living in that area. And also, like, as back to the Google thing, see what's happening in that particular location. So recently I bought a condo in Burlington. So what I did, number one, I called up some of the people I know. Hey, what do you think about this particular location? I'm looking to buy a condo here. And what do you think, what's happening in this city? How are the prices 5 years ago? What are the jobs? How are the jobs now? How is the population growth? Is people moving into the city or people moving out of the city? um, Again, if you Google about that particular location, you will get all the Wikipedia about that city. How much is the population now? How much was the population before? What are the major employers in that location? How many employees? You can even find that if you go into the city website. They even give you like each employer, how many jobs they have, and what's the predictions for future growth potential. So literally, if you just spend like maybe 5 hours or maybe 3 hours googling and calling, you will be able to find a lot more details about the projects and the location. Ash, my man, thank you for the concrete answer. You're welcome, Ash, anytime. Kaushik, what are the best practices as a landlord to ensure the property is maintained well over time? So here's what I do personally. I have a property management company that I work with. So they promise to go check out the property every 3 months. And every 3 months, my wife jump on a call with them. Hey, where are the status updated photos on this 3 months? You said you're going to inspect the this. What is the status? So that's how I manage my properties. Property managers have a specific timeline. They have to go check out all the mechanicals, roof, any maintenance that needed. They gotta intimate to me. I will make sure, okay, this is genuine, that work needed. If I agree for it, either they go do it, or I'll find my own contractor. I'll get a quote. If he says the same thing what the property manager says, then I'll go do it. So a regular inspections, that's what I you have to do. You got to inspect the property, and with you have, as a landlord, you have a right to inspect your property in a regular intervals to make sure the mechanicals are good, make sure the roof is good, make sure there is no mold growing in the basement, make sure all those things are working properly. If there is anything, you can schedule maintenance for specific items if needed. Hope that answers. Meher, love it, man. Looks like you're very, very active. I love that actor. That's one thing. If I were, I was like that, and I am like that till now, still, which is like keep on asking questions because that's how you learn. So keep it up, Meher. How long it took for you to start earning as a realtor? Did you start earning 3 months as a realtor? Yes. So I started earning from the third. I believe I made my first sale end of the month, and in 3 months, I think I already made like 5 sales. So, yep. And to give even more details, like I sold 55 properties in the first year, 100, something in second year, and now this year we are almost heading towards 150. So, yep. But don't compare with me. Just how can you be prepared? What can you do to get your first client? You got to look at that way. But for the potential, and I have seen like the agents that I coached made like their sale in the first 3 weeks. Some agents took 3 months because it depends on how much knowledge you have about the city. It depends on how much knowledge you have about the real estate, how much how did you marketed yourself before. So if you haven't started marketing yourself, if you haven't started learning about the market, learning about the city, learning about the neighborhoods from the day you started your exams, then it will take you time, right? So as soon as if you're just starting everything from the day you became a realtor, then it will take you a couple of months to learn, first of all, because now you're starting from zero. Don't beat up yourself for not making a sale in the first month, but beat up yourself if you're not learning about the city, neighborhoods, prices, market, rents, marketing yourself, putting yourself in front of more people, because you got to do all those things to make more sales. Hope that makes sense. YQG Rentals. Bro, what's your name? Please tell me your name. Due to the fear of rental license coming up, do you see properties going on sale like not pancake, especially West End homes near University of Windsor? I'm talking about illegal basements out there. I mean, again, not I haven't seen that much impact because of rental license coming up, but since the COVID, that area has definitely slowed down comparative to before COVID, and it's still the same. Like it's not literally like the products are still moving, and especially good cash flowing properties still moving out. They are still selling. But illegal basements, obviously, like you got to be careful if you're buying. You got to make sure you're buying the property that has that the work has been done properly, or if you are going to do work, make sure you're going to follow all the building bylaw, because that way you're safe, your investment is safe, and the people who are going to live in the property will be safe. So but the market, I haven't seen that much of a difference as of yet. By the way, another self promotion here. I have a off market deal right now, which is like 500 meters from university. This is a very very unique property. It has like three kitchens, level one main floor, kitchen, washroom, and three bedrooms. Level two, washroom, kitchen, and three bedrooms, and basement, washroom, kitchen, and two bedrooms. So 8 bedroom, three kitchen, and three bath. If you would like, it's vacant, it's nicely updated. So if you would like to know about that student rental, the email, like I said earlier, send an email to info@vincityre.com asking about off market student rental. So we'll send you the information there if you're curious about the student rental. But again, and I feel personally like student rental is slowly picking up, because now the students, I have heard, students from India, China, they are slowly coming up. I have seen some new students coming in recently. Sorry, brother, I cannot pronounce your name. Yako. If I didn't pronounce it right, please forgive me. For brand new agents, do you recommend joining a brokerage as an individual, joining a team within a brokerage, or others? Why? So, before I answer that, it's your personal. It's who you are. Who are you? What's your motivation look like? So, personally, first of all, joining a brokerage, you must join a brokerage. And which brokerage? There is no better brokerage than EXP Reality, the one I'm with, because you have a good opportunity to make a lot more money, apart from not only just the commission. But keeping that aside, would you join as an individual or as a team? So I made a video about this, like even more detail, but I'll put it in a nutshell. So if you're a person who doesn't want too much guidance, you can learn by yourself. You're very good, very motivated. You know how to keep your motivation going, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to, literally you're an action taker. You don't need to join a team. But if you're a person like, you would love to lean on someone who would love to learn from a expert, and you need a guidance for a certain time, and this is something that you're doing for the first time, like you're scared, you need some good motivation and support, and you don't want to have too much expenses, because when you're part of a team, the team will take care of all the expenses. And of course they take, generally the teams are 50-50 cut. Whatever the commission you make, they give you 50, they take 50, because they cover all the expenses. And on top of it, good teams provide quality leads, and provide quality mentorship, training, and all those things. So in that sense, joining a team also makes sense. So for me, when I started, like I literally partnered up with my agent, my past agent. I partnered. I didn't join a team. Like I partnered because I know myself. Like I was like, I'm self-motivated person. I would say like I'm an action taker. So if you're like me, then go do yourself, because now whatever the action, whatever the money you're making, it's all yours. You don't and of course, whatever the marketing and branding, everything is, now it's your branding. Hope that makes sense. Gokul, what are the areas in Windsor you need to careful of when buying rental properties? So, of course, two areas that are still like, bit rough. One is the downtown area. There are like a couple of streets in downtown where, you got to be careful. And also Ford City, that's another area where you got to be careful. But again, that's also like, I know some investors, they love, especially I have an agent in my team. If you have seen his videos, Clark Galley, he loves to buy Ford's properties only in Ford City. Even he bought his home that he wants to live in, like a multi house hacking, in that Ford City as well. He loves it because he sees that it's slowly shifting, and still someone asked, can I find properties in under 300? These are the two pockets where you can find under 300. So there you go, those are the locations. And if that's your budget, that's all you can afford as of now, hey, why not? It's definitely doesn't hurt to just, you need to make sure, maintain the property well, place good people into the property, don't go cheap out, don't try to rush in placing the tenant. Okay, almost we are at, wow, it's almost 8 o'clock. I couldn't believe it, just time just flew. You guys are fantastic. Uh, I didn't even realize the time just almost passed. So I'll take maybe two or three more questions, and we'll call it a day for tonight. But this lives, like I said earlier, I'll be coming live every week Thursday 7 p.m. So I'll be, if you haven't answered your questions now, feel free to come back again next Thursday. If you want specific help in Windsor, of course, me and my team, we are more than happy to help you. So like I said, there is a link in my Instagram bio, uh, contact us page, or on our website wincityre.com. There is a link on that website. Contact us there, just fill in a small form. We will contact you within 24-48 hours, and we'll be happy to help you. So let me take a question here. Vijay Reddy, I love the name, man. My name is also Aditya Reddy. After buying a pre-construction house, can we get a mortgage approval if we want to buy a condo or independent house? Bro, that's more specific about your income. I need to know about income. So better that question, I would say, talk to a mortgage person, because I don't know how much income you're making. I don't know how much income you're going to make from that condo. I don't know how much is the price of that condo, and how much income you're making, how much debt you have. There are so many numbers need to be looked into to answer that question. Generally, I purchased one property after the other, one property after the other, because if your income to debt ratio, it's still okay, you will qualify to buy a house, to buy another condo or whatever the house. It, at the end, the numbers. So if you're making X amount of money, and you kept your debts low, and the property that you purchased, you rented out for a good rent that is sustaining by itself, and your income to debt ratio haven't changed much, then most likely you will qualify for what you qualified in the past before you purchased that property. So talk to a mortgage expert. He might be able to help you, to answer specific to your situation. After one gets a realtor license, is the next step to register with a brokerage in order to start? Yes. First of all, to get your license, after you finish your exams, you have to join a brokerage. And if you're just about to finish your exams, talk to me. You got to talk to me about the brokerage, because DM me saying that I'm just about to get my license, or email the email I said, or schedule a call with us, because EXP offers such a fantastic opportunity. We can talk another day about more details about why you got to choose wisely about a brokerage. But yes, 100%. What are your thoughts on buying investment property in the Greater Toronto area when compared to Windsor? Kaushik, that's a very tough question to answer, but I'll put it in a simple words. Um, GTA is a great city where the economy is super, super solid because very diversified. Only thing is, can you afford? If you can afford, if you have money, and if you can find where properties can at least break even, or a little bit of positive cash flow, of course buy in GTA. If you can afford, if you have that funds, because I love to buy in GTA. When I started, like even now, like yeah, I would love to buy in GTA, but like if I want to buy a property in GTA, at least from the areas I know, to buy a detached home, it cost me over $1 million. In Windsor, I can get 5, 6, 7 unit building for that price. So here I have more security, more cash flow. Again, that's my personal opinion. But there are people, who would argue, oh, there I have more, growth point of view, more appreciation. So even Windsor has the appreciation as well. But again, at the end, if it really depends on, what's your strategy, and what do you like to where do you like to be in. Um, so if you're starting out, you have less money, you want to grow your portfolio quickly, then probably Windsor might be the best choice. But if you have a solid income, you have solid career, you have solid income, where you just want to have a solid properties that goes for long run, like build wealth. Um, you don't mind, you can handle that $1 million mortgage. Yeah, of course, Toronto is definitely best place in that case. Okay, one last question, and we'll call it a day. According to you, what is the best ROI, Vasudevan? That's a very, very broad question, bro. Because ROI, most of the properties that I buy are infinity returns, because that's what burst strategies allow you to do. I if I can pull my investment within 1 year, 1.5 year, now whatever the income I'm making from that property, it's infinity, because I don't have my money in. It's like zero money in, all positive returns. So that's my best ROI in my opinion. Um, but again, if you're looking for specific numbers, I don't have an answer, bro. I would like to have at least a positive $100, $200 cash flow per every unit, if it's a single family or small multifamily. So that's all for tonight. But if you guys need any help in Windsor, of course, my team and I are more than happy to help you guys. So we'll reach out to us. There is a link in the description, or you can check out our website, wincityre.com. There will be a contact page, so reach out us there. So with that, thank you so much for all your time here. Hope it was informative. With that, signing off. Have a wonderful evening, guys. Take care.